Hey guys, another video. Today we're in Lincoln's house. This is his house. All this stuff. See all of it? Mom, Dad, sister. Wow. Look at all of this stuff.
Excuse me guys, I'm going to slip down to the middle here. Now, okay, everybody's fitting. You can lean on this railing. You can touch it. Can't climb over it, but mostly you can't lean on any stuff behind you. This is Lincoln era material. Original plaster behind the wallpaper, original door frames. In fact, every interior door downstairs is made of black walnut and is original to this house. These big ones date from 1856, the regular doors, 1839 when this house was originally constructed. I'm looking at you guys, I don't know, you look a little excitable, so I'm not going to tell you that the floors into this carpet are the ones Lincoln walked on. We're going to let that go. Folks, this is the formal parlor, front and back parlors, nicest rooms in the house. 156 years ago, the man that lived in this house, well, he was dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Lincoln believed everyone should have the same opportunity for self-improvement he had. One thing I can tell you about Abraham Lincoln, he knew a little about self-improvement. He himself was born in a one-room log cabin outside of Hodgenville, Kentucky. He lives in log structures the first 28 years of his life, not only in Kentucky, but in Indiana and Illinois. Let's face it, you don't have to look around very much to know we're a long way from a log cabin right here. Folks, this is the home of Abraham Lincoln, upper middle class attorney. Many believe him to have been one of the finest attorneys in the state of Illinois in this day. And at this point in his life, he has a nice home, has a good family, a successful career. We could easily say Lincoln had achieved the American dream. But you know, I can't think of a better example of achieving that than May 19, 1860, when the 27-man Republican nominating committee boards a train in Chicago, travels to Springfield, comes to this house and these rooms to tell Lincoln officially he's the Republican candidate for president. Delegation comes in the front parlor, Lincoln's over in the back parlor toward that window, leaning on the top of a chair, and I'm still pointing because that could be the chair. All of this black upholstered furniture that you're looking at in both of these rooms was here that day. These are all original Lincoln pieces covered in woven horsehair. Now you know this delegation, they've got exactly one thing they need to do. So basically we've got 27 politicians walking into a front parlor. Kind of sounds like a joke when I say it that way. Well, all they've got to do, tell Lincoln he's the candidate, give him a fly. Well, it took a while. Now this is the part that's going to be a little far-fetched for you, but each one of these guys had to have something to say. Just because they're politicians, I guess. And finally, they get around to telling Lincoln he's the candidate. Lincoln says, thank you, I'll get back to you. Waits 3 days to let this group know that he's going to accept. Now, I'll be honest, he knows he's going to accept. He's only doing this because it's a different time in our political history, and he's being formal, proper, trying not to seem anxious. So after this discussion between Lincoln and the delegation, he meets the whole group, and halfway through meeting him comes to one particularly tall man, Judge William Kelly of Pennsylvania. Lincoln shakes Kelly's hand, and as he's doing so, looks Kelly in the eye and says, how tall are you? Kelly's a bit surprised. If it replies he's 6'3", but then he looks Lincoln in the face and says, how tall are you? Well, Lincoln gets a big grin and says, I beat you, I'm 6'4". And then Kelly says, well, Pennsylvania bows to Illinois. My dear man, all my life, my heart's ached for a president to look up to, and here we found him at last in the land where we thought there were none but Lynn Jones. Now we're talking about a whole different Illinois candidate, Stephen A. Douglas. 4 men ran for president in 1862 from the state of Illinois, and I'll be perfectly honest, the only thing I'm sure of, Illinois had the tallest and shortest candidates that year. Lincoln at 6'4", Douglas at 5'4". Folks, we're going to see the informal side of the house next. Please take a walk through our dining room and into the sitting room. I'll meet you there, and we'll pick up the conversation once we all get there. supposedly, because he didn't die for quite a while. You know, here's Susan Lawrence Gambler wrote a checkbook, 14,000 plus square foot house. He got so carried away, Wright actually admitted that he probably did this place. That's not a guy says stuff like that. Well, he didn't. Oh, I should have knocked. You can let her in, if you would. Guys, keep coming down, please. I didn't know she was out there. I guess I shouldn't get long tours on 5 minutes spacing. Keep coming in, guys. We're going to come down this way toward me without leaning on the wall. I didn't say it got any easier. There we go. Folks, we're in the sitting room. Now, let's face it, we all like to go home in the evening, kick up our shoes, and enjoy our sitting rooms, right? No one says that anymore in this country. We say living room or family room. And of an evening when Lincoln's home, you usually found him stretched out on the floor in front of that fireplace, reading or playing with Willie and Tad, his youngest sons. Mary usually sits over here to the right next to this sewing table and me. Those are her original pieces. Now, folks, this is the room that Lincoln is most a father and a husband in. This is where he shuts out the world and concentrates on his family. Yet a day came along, Lincoln couldn't do that. December 20th, 1860, a little over a month after his election as president, the day Lincoln found out South Carolina, the first state that seceded from the Union. I'm kind of thinking that night there's only one thing on Abraham Lincoln's mind, most likely South Carolina. Folks, we're going to go up and see the bedrooms. A couple more quick instructions. I need each and every one of you, just like Lincoln did many times, to use this railing for safety. And this railing is the only thing in this city all of you get to touch what Lincoln touched and not get in trouble for doing so. You know, I'd enjoy that a little. I don't know how you behaved at the other sites in town, but it could even be the high point of your day, depending. Folks, once you get upstairs to the landing, turn left, check out the guest room, then come over into the master suite. I'll be waiting for you there. The railing won't. Blue carpet's important, and finally, this is a big one for us. No matter how tempting or easy it is to do, and it is, don't touch the dead in Lincoln. Are there any quick questions before we go up about anything you've seen so far? Follow me then. They are. People say it all the time. I can't imagine going up and down these stairs all day, and then sometimes I think, oh yeah, I do. That's our guest room. Check that out, folks. And then come over and see me again, please.
Dang, just trying to take all this in.
A lot here. Dance slowly. It's important, you know. I was a set television producer and director for 20 years, so I can say that. Well, he's closed, but doesn't make you nervous. I understand.
Do not touch the carpet.
That's right. Well, let's get everybody in here. I'll explain about this carpet. It's not original. There's only one place that still makes this in the country. That's Family Heirlooms in Pennsylvania. It's made just like the original. Here's the problem. It is the thickness of a tablecloth. That's why we don't want you walking on it. It just wouldn't last us literally any time at all. Do we have a couple more out there? Or we? Oh, okay. Didn't want to start without them. Hello. I remember you guys. Now you can get back on the blue. That didn't take long, did it? Is that it? Everyone? Good. Folks, welcome to Abraham Lincoln's bedroom. The room behind me, Mary Lincoln's bedroom. So before you get weird on me, let me do a little explaining here, okay? That is where Mary has personal privacy after years of not having any. She's been the only girl in a house full of boys for years, including the dog. Now, 1856 is when the house has expanded from a story and a half to a full 2 stories. And if you're wondering, the original bedroom is the back parlor now. That's where everybody slept for years. Before they move upstairs, though, Mary decorates. In the master suite, she has wallpaper from Paris put up. What you're seeing on the walls of these 2 rooms is an exact reproduction of that wallpaper. Also, for years, I've been telling people that we know what the wallpaper looked like and what it, we're able to reproduce it because we have a few pieces in storage on site. Now this is absolutely true. The part I hadn't quite considered fully was exactly what a few pieces meant. You think 80 to 90 square feet of the original wallpaper from this room? A little bit. Few, yeah, I might have underestimated it. Folks, in that corner you're going to see Lincoln's original desk in this room, still sitting there. He worked on many things in that corner, but what I point out quite a bit, some of the House Divided speech was penned in part in that corner. That speech given at our old state capitol in 1858. And one thing I found out is if anybody hears the name Lincoln, and I'm pretty sure this is probably true of all of us, you have a particular image that comes to mind. Tall, skinny guy, stovepipe hat, beard. That's reasonable, but I have to tell you the beard's the shakiest part of that description. This is Lincoln's shaving mirror on the wall at the height of a 6'4" man. Lincoln is clean shaven until almost 52 years of age. The beard he grew shortly before leaving Springfield to go to Washington to be inaugurated. It's a presidential feature. He's our first U.S. president to have a beard in office. Yeah, I didn't know that until 2 years ago. I'm still a little something about it. Folks, before we move on, are there any questions? Just overwhelmed by all of it? Well, that's okay. I'm good for that. You too? Well, it is a little much. I've had people say that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to step back into Mary's room, walk through, take a look, pictures, of course. Work your way down the hall. First room on the right, Willie and Tad's. Originally Robert's room, but we're standing in 1860 now. Robert Lincoln's at college in 1860. At the end of the hall, all the way on the left, is the hired servant girl's room. One poor teenage girl at a time lived and worked here, made $1.50 a week plus room and board. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about that because $1.50 in 1860, it's about $250, $300 in buying power today. They were doing pretty good. After you see all that, head down to the kitchen. We'll pick up the conversation there. If you have any questions in the meantime, please let me know. Right this way, Mary's room.
Odd.
Lots of stuff. And more stuff. Excuse me. No, those are just period shoes. Same thing with the dress. It's an 1850s dress. Now this box behind me on the left, that might be hers. Sort of commode. Yeah, all the stuff in the house, we got Mary's toilet. I'm still not sure how to feel about that. I mean, I understand she had one, but sometimes you're just, Guys, we'll have you get a couple more pictures and move on so we can get everybody in here.